Okay, welcome to some 3D design tips. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go to Google Maps. Ooh, having trouble typing today. Google Maps right there. And we're going to click on Google Maps. And we're going to type in where we want to go. And I am going to look for Fruitvale Elementary School as the school I want to create in my model today. So I'm going to click on Fruitvale Elementary. And there's Fruitvale Elementary right there. I'm going to collapse that so it's a bit smaller. I'm going to zoom in, get myself in a better position, and I'm going to click this satellite image right here. Now, what we want to do is we want to find a wall that we are going to start building the school with. So I'm going to choose this wall that runs right to about there, that point right there. And I am going to right click on my mouse or two-finger click on my trackpad. I'm going to go all the way down to measure distance, okay? And then I am going to left click, just a regular click on the corner, and I'm going to drag that white little circle out to a point, and that looks pretty close right there to my distance. It doesn't have to be exact. Okay, so 48 meters. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into Tinkercad. Now I actually have the completed school here. Just as a reference model to kind of look at. You won't have the reference model for your school, but I just wanted to show you, just have this in the background. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring out a box, place it down, and I found it's useful to double the number because actually we're working in millimeters in Tinkercad, but doubling the number gives you a bit more workspace and a little more room to work with. We don't want it too small. So it was 48 meters, so it's doubling 48 is going to be 96. So I'm going to type in click on the, click on the little white square in the corner, and then click on this and type in 96. So that will make our wall the length we want it. And this is too thick right here, so I'm going to click on this white corner again right here, and I'm just going to change this number to about 5, and that will thin the wall down. Now, we're not going to do very well without a reference, and what I did was walk around the school to get a whole bunch of different pictures of the school that I could use to create the 3D model. And we are working on this corner of the school right here, so I'm just going to click on that. And you can see all the windows kind of sitting along here, probably about 15 windows. The height of this, I don't know, maybe 6 meters or 7 meters. So let's again double that. So 714. So we're going to make the height of our 3D wall here 14. So let's click, it's 20 right now. So we're going to change it to 14. And the next thing we want to do is if I look at my school picture, I can zoom right in and I want to create the window on the far corner here so I can duplicate it and make a whole bunch of them. So you can see it's a red, it's sort of these little red bars on it are what we're going to be building. You can get as detailed as you want. We're going to keep this pretty straightforward. So what I'm going to do is I find it's useful to have, this is 3D view, so that's 3D view right there, sorry. And if you click on this again, that's your orthographic view. And often I work in orthographic view because if you click on any sides, it renders the drawing flat, which is pretty handy when you're working with models. So what I would suggest is you just keep it in orthographic view, and that will keep the model 2D. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to grab just a regular box. We're going to squish it down to about the size that we think. I'm just going to kind of guess. And this right here is panning. This panning right here, how I'm moving around, you're going to have to be able to do that. So if you're on a trackpad, I believe it's hold down Shift and two-finger click the trackpad. That will move around and pan. If you're on a mouse, I am just clicking the mouse scroll wheel. Okay? And I'm just going to maybe shrink. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. And I'm going to shrink this window down to about that size. And this is this little black arrow up on the top. I'm going to bring that black arrow up. And I'm just going to kind of, you can slide it through. I'm just going to kind of stick it maybe about there. It's a little bit high, so I'm going to stick it down a little bit like that. Now you might not get the exact size right, but that's okay. We're just sort of guesstimating here on the size of our windows. Okay, so I'm going to change the color of this wall to maybe a bluish. And now what I want to do, I want to create these red sills in my picture here. These how are we going to do this? Probably best way to do it is 1, 2, 3, just like that. Okay, so let's bring out a box again, and we'll just put it right here. We'll squish the box down using that little white square on the top. We'll grab the black square. You see that black square right there? I'll see if you can see it when I click on it. There it is. Then I'm going to squish this down again, and I'm going to bring it up a little bit, and I'm just going to make it kind of, if I click on my left view and kind of pan up, you can see I'm just going to move it up a bit, kind of get it the size of the window. Now you're going to have to rotate a lot and move around. If you stay in one place, you might find whatever you make doesn't look good from another angle. So make sure you're always looking around your model. So I'm just going to lift this up just a tiny bit. And now I want one on the other side. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to click on duplicate. And I am going to move this over. Now rather than using my mouse, I'm going to use my arrow key. If I push my arrow key lightly, you can see it doesn't move very quickly. And that's because my snap grid here is off. But what I can do is I can hold down shift and push my arrow key, and that will move it. I think it's 10 times speed. So there we go, about right there is good. And then we want that crossbar running across the middle. So I am going to stay on this one. I'm going to click the duplicate button here. Actually, sorry, I'm just going to click it once and then click the duplicate button. And I am going to just kind of squish this down. I know you can't see it, but it's actually inside of it right now. I'm going to pull this up, and then I'm just going to, I think what I'll do here is I'll just kind of move my model a little bit this way. And see that little black square? You can see this tiny little black square. It's going to pull that across. And that will give me that kind of H bar right there. Now, looking at this, I think we're going to run into a problem when we duplicate this, because it's going to, I think it's going to take that H bar out if we duplicate it. So maybe what we'll do is we'll grab this hole right here that we have, and we'll squish it down and make it a bit smaller. And then we'll take the same hole and we'll duplicate it. We'll make another one and we'll bring it up and kind of put it right there. Take the top of it and squish it down. Okay, that's hopefully a reasonable solution to our problem. I'm just going to kind of bring this up and okay, so now what we want to do is we want to take this whole piece and we want to duplicate it and run it along the wall. So to do that, hold down shift, click on all of your pieces. Make sure you have clicked on all of them. And then we're just going to duplicate it. That's making another copy. And I'm just going to hold down shift and I'm going to move that whole other piece over that way. And how far I'm going to go, I don't know, let's say like right there. Okay, I'm going to let go. And then now I'm just going to keep clicking duplicate. And it will create copies of it all the way down to the end. Oh, and I made an extra copy, so I don't need that one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Well, I could have made them a bit smaller, but that's okay. 12's fine. Now what we're going to do is we want to run a red piece entirely across the top, because if you look at our photos, you can see there's this red piece running all the way along the top and another red piece running all along the bottom. So I'm just going to zoom in. I'm going to grab this red piece right here. Actually, no, I'll grab this red piece right here. And I will duplicate it. I will bring it up to the top. Maybe, I don't know, maybe about there. And I'm just going to change my perspective just a little bit. You can see there's that black piece right there. I'm going to drag it all the way along to the end. I'm just going to back up a bit. And you can see there's one there. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate it again. Oops, sorry. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to duplicate it again. and I'm going to drop it to the bottom. Okay, now I've made it stick out way too far, so that's easy to fix though. All I'm going to do is click on my turquoise piece, and I'm going to use my arrow key, and I'm going to bring this out so it kind of sits inside the wall a bit better. Okay, all right, now the last thing we need to do, and if it sticks out the back, that's okay because no one's going to see that anyway. I'm just going to take my entire piece and left click, highlight everything, and I am going to group it. Click the group button right here, and it should take, might just take a couple minutes, and there we go. Now it looks really weird right now. That's because we need to use multicolor. So click on the turquoise, click on multicolor, and you will get all of your colors back. All right, pretty cool. Now obviously this part's white here. If you look, these are white. So I didn't do that part, but you could just grab another box, put it in here, and color it white, and then run it all the way down the side. Okay, hopefully this has helped you a little bit to get started and your 3D model for creating your school.